Aloha, y'all. It is Thursday, Thor's Day, hence the name, Thor's Day, Thursday, the 17th of March. It is St. Patrick's Day, which is not surprising that the green Anahata chakra, the heart chakra, is the chakra of the day. But let's talk about the astrology for a second. The sun is in Pisces at 26 degrees 51 minutes Pisces. The moon is at 16 degrees 51 minutes Virgo, opposite the sun. Mercury is at 12 degrees Pisces. Venus is at 10 degrees Aquarius. Mars is at 8 degrees Aquarius. Jupiter is at 17 degrees 50 minutes Pisces. Saturn's at 20 degrees Aquarius. Uranus is at 12 degrees Taurus. Neptune's at 23 degrees Pisces. Still conjunct, albeit getting looser, to the sun, opposite the moon as we speak. Pluto is at 28 degrees Capricorn, and the North Node is at 24 degrees Taurus. So, like I said, it is an Anahata chakra day. It is a heart chakra day on this St. Patrick's Day. Verde, verdant, green, life. The heart chakra is in the middle of your chest, chakra. And keywords are balance, love, and self-control. Positive aspects are compassion, generosity, harmony, and balance, and loving kindness. Negative aspects are indifference, jealousy, miserliness, or bitterness. The mantra is Yam, so if you're doing these things out loud, this is going to be in the key of F, Yam. And actually, I should probably be showing you mudras. Put your hand here like this in your heart, and have the other hand like this and be doing Yam, and you're doing it. The spiritual activity is learning to love. You're learning to love yourself first. Praying, healing, singing. Essential oils are rose, carnation, lily of the valley. Plants are foxglove, rose, carnation, and lily. Metal is copper and gold. The element is air. Crystals are rose quartz, diamond, and peridot. And soul lesson is brotherhood and love. So we're getting into our hearts on this full moon in the next probably less than 24 hours, probably about 18 hours or so, depending on where you are in the world. It's going to be around midnight. After midnight, we're going to have a full moon in Virgo, opposite everything in Pisces, the sun, Jupiter, etc. So we are opening our hearts today, hopefully getting into that loving kindness and that place with Yam and realizing, wow, what a dream. It's a beautiful thing I'm a part of, and thank you, God, for letting me dream it. So, let's go ahead and get some cards, shall we? Hopefully you're all doing well. We had an amazing podcast last night. I'll post it in the comments. Or the links or whatever on YouTube and stuff, with Cullen Smith. He's been on before, but last night he really kind of went hard in the paint with the esoteric symbology of some TV shows. He's published a book that is a lot of pictures showing everything from the hexagonal mind slave kind of thinking of honeybees and Freemasonry to squaring the circle and circling the square. You guys would probably like it. I had a lot of fun. This is why the TEAMrabbithole podcast exists. So shout out Cullen. Thanks again for coming on. I'll post it. We have 271 episodes now, so there's a whole plethora of awesome content to check out like this. And if you know of anyone you want me to request to get on, because we've had some famous people, so I can ask clouded people to come on, if that's a word, people with clout, or if you yourself want to come on, let me know. It's a free game. I love talking to everybody. Anahata chakra, right? Conversation is one of my favorite things. I digress. So we got the Seven of Swords. This is a rather a more pernicious kind of energy, but we'll go with it. So swords are the mind. If you're a Gemini, Libra, or an Aquarius, this is naturally going to be your suit. And the sevens are going towards the end of the goal. 1 is the start, ace is the start, 7 is kind of going through it, 10 is completion. So 7 of Swords, desire for what others have, being kind of covetous, right? Being dishonest and deceptive, challenging cultural values and ideals. Hopefully that's what we're doing. Hopefully we're standing up to the man, this big brother Orwellian system, and smash and grabbing the truth, like Indiana Jones little. This belongs in a museum. He's stealing from Nazis to take it, take the things back, the relics back. But this also may have connotations that are less than honorable. So let's read it, shall we? Seven of Swords. I want what others have. Deception, betrayal, and cunning are at play. Ironically, often when we do something in secret, with the South Node in Scorpio, and with so much energy, Neptune conjunct Sun in Pisces, Jupiter in Pisces, Mercury in Pisces, there is a lot of deception, a lot of psyops, a lot of karma being dealt with, right? South Node in Scorpio is digging up the dark taboo past. It's like, why does Joe Biden and his son have so many ties to Ukraine? What's up with Russia? Vladimir Putin has been seen, shaking hands with Charles Schwab. What the fuck is actually going on, right? So, deception, betrayal, and cunning are at play. Ironically, often, and with the moon, the full moon in Virgo, opposite all this energy in Pisces, the Sun and Neptune, we have this issue of integrity versus kind of delusions, basically. So I'm going to stop interrupting myself, sorry. Deception, betrayal, and cunning are at play. Ironically, often when we do something in secret, taking special care not to be discovered, a logic-defying energy plays with us. Two people speaking to one another when they don't normally, sending an email to the wrong person, leaving a phone face up accidentally on a table. Apparently, random collisions like this defy all the odds and expose our deceptions. Righteousness prevails. Ultimately, the truth will set you free, and the truth sets us free whether we realize, whether we intend it to or not sometimes. So, if you're having like an affair and you're like, oh, here's some sexy pics, and then you leave your phone unlocked. That kind of thing. That's what it's talking about. And I wouldn't suggest that, by the way. The use of deviousness to gain an advantage or deceive, Neptune conjunct Sun in Pisces, like the shadow of that, deception, always contains the seeds of its perpetrator's downfall. Most forms of private and public wrongdoings, acts of adultery and other personal betrayals, financial fraud, government corruption, even murder and genocide are fueled by lies. So you need to be discerning. Do you realize, very much like everybody was like, let's go, not everybody, but the sentiment of the zeitgeist was, let's go bomb the fuck out of the Taliban in Afghanistan and let's go get Saddam Hussein kind of in an era, a few-year era. And now I'm not saying Putin is innocent by any means, but it seems that everyone's saying, yay, Ukraine, and fuck Russia, and that's just that. Case closed, judgment delivered. All is fair in love and war, right? So, I guess if you're in a state of kind of war, bombing maternal clinics and stuff seems fair in those terms. I'm not saying I agree with it, but I'm just saying when everybody's shouting that's the bad guy, you have to wonder why, it reminds me a little of when people are stoning the adultering woman in the Bible, and Jesus steps up, he's like, who here can throw a stone really? You're all guilty of something, and they all kind of drop their stones and walk away. So it's like, don't just think there's one bad guy. You think that NATO or the World Health Organization or the US or whoever is sparkling clean, Virgo full moon, doubtful. So let's keep it real. Most forms of all this stuff, the truth never needs to be okay, so ultimately every lie we tell haunts our future and sours our past. There's good reason not to lie. It's not only yes, it might be Machiavellian, but ultimately it's not the right way. There is no telling when or how it might collide with reality, requiring further maintenance and more lies. The truth never needs to be tended to. In the Seven of Swords artwork, we see a figure making a dramatic escape. He carries two swords, which he has seized from the obscure floating tank, seemingly a repository guarded by strange disc-eye security. Big Brother, right? The image is a playful reference to the artists Damien Hirst and Jeff Koons. Both had talent for reconfiguring things of little perceived value into rare objects. Are the swords artifacts, worthless rusty metal, or fine art? This brings into question, what is value? North Node and Taurus. What is of value? Why do we treasure the things we do? Why do we take this media? There's reasons, and we can get into them, but why do we take this media conglomerate as truth and the others as conspiratorial or whatever, or false? We have to be understanding of these things. What makes something valuable? What makes something intrinsically valuable? Who decides? Is the value our culture places on things itself a grand deception? Neptune conjunct Sun, opposite full moon in Virgo, soon, full moon. It's the ubiquitous game of restricting supply, so an item is perceived as rare, unique, and precious. Think diamonds, right? It's like De Beers is like, hey, we just found a huge mine stash in Africa, and we're going to really limit its output, so therefore the number of diamonds in the market is governed. And then we tell people mantras like diamonds are a girl's best friend, and diamonds are the symbol of engagement, and any other kind of stone or object would not do. It becomes a class symbological kind of psyop. And then we all get diamonds, for the bling, for the record, for Rockefeller or whatever. And this is same thing with oil. You think there's only some places with oil, and we need to really be getting off of those fossil fuels ultimately anyway. We should, kind of thing. So who decides these values? Our prevalent communication delivery system, the media, drips with stories about the rich and famous designed to make us drool over manufactured and empty lifestyles. Kim Kardashian probably is not as happy as she poses to be. Beneath the luxurious sensual comfort of privilege are the same challenges of love, approval, loss, and abandonment we all face. We are bewitched to fill our own longing for wholeness, certainty, and completion with what we define as other. So we try to find happiness outside of ourselves, whether it's through, I voted for this guy and so did you, high five, we're the best, they suck. Or, oh my gosh, I have these values and they don't, so we're the good guys, they're the bad guys, let's go to war. Or whatever. We tend to really forget big picture stuff. We tend to get out of our hearts and get into our heads, unfortunately. And if we're in our hearts, we're going to go, wow, we're all carbon-based life forms breathing oxygen, potentially. Don't want to get into reptilians and all this stuff. But we're all here spinning on this spaceship Earth, and let's do the best we can. Heart chakra, right? But we tend to get stuck in our minds and make teams. Venus conjunct Mars in Aquarius, Saturn in Aquarius. We tend to go, this is the way it is. The shadow of Aquarius is like cold-hearted logic, cold-minded logic, heartless logic, and picking sides without maybe even knowing all the facts. So, the Seven of Swords is asking us to consider those parts of your life where there may be dishonesty and deception. Perhaps you feel that you don't have the courage and energy to meet something head-on. So instead you prefer to delay or avoid for a time. And I do this with songwriting. I've been writing songs and noodling around on the guitar for most of my life, but because of things like Dark Side of the Moon and The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway and these epic albums that I've been impressed by, I'm like, well, I can't do it unless I'm like knocking things out like Mike Tyson level. And it's like, you don't have to do that. Trust me, like being creative does not mean writing Stairway to Heaven every fucking time, right? So instead, you prefer to delay or avoid for a time. But this too, and that's very, very moon opposite sun, Neptune, Mercury, Jupiter in Pisces, where it's like, I just want to dream. I just want to float through this. And the moon, full moon, is saying, it's time to get to work. North Node of Taurus. It's time to fucking make things happen, and you're the executor of your life at a large level. You can Rip Van Winkle it and sit back and just wake up one day and go, oh my gosh, and I've done this, so I'm not really saying this from inexperience. Oh my gosh, where'd the time go? Oh my gosh, I'm a victim of negligence, being dishonest to yourself, all this kind of stuff. So you can avoid and delay things for a time, but this too can become ingrained, a pattern which keeps you trapped instead of bringing liberation. And that's what we're ultimately trying to do here, folks. Liberate through what? Love. Liberate through the heart. That's why we came into this dream at all. Ask yourself, where are you not being honest with others and ultimately with yourself? Moon in Virgo, full moon in Virgo, North Node in Taurus. This is asking us to be integrous. And with Pluto in Capricorn, it's saying the world, anything that's not working is getting cut out. Institutions that have been, skimming off the top forever, or pedophile islands or whatever, this isn't going to work anymore. And we're being made well aware of it. There is an opportunity in this card to put things right and restore your integrity, wielding your sword to cut away your own lies and mistruths and challenging those in the relationships and cultures around you. So it's actually not a bad card, right? Don't just listen to what this all-seeing eye tells you, right? There's people, whether they're Freemasons or media or bureaucrats or popes or whatever, they're like, this is the way it is. And you have to find truth for yourself, right? And you have to find truth ultimately for yourself with your heart. That's the best way to do it. Because your mind has two hemispheres. It can be polarized. You can go, oh, this, and flit. As a sun and moon Gemini with a Chiron in Gemini, I understand that flitting nature of things. So let's go ahead and get a clarification card. Where to put these things? I've got cables everywhere. Running on 3 items is rather difficult. We got the Knight of Pentacles. This guy has a sword, and it's not a sword, but this guy he's defending and fighting swords, right? So what happens if you smash and grab 7 of Swords? You might have to, you might get caught in an alley later on and be like, holy shit, I got to fight the guy who is, the mafia boss or whatever. So, the Knight of Pentacles, very apropos for Pluto in Capricorn, the moon in Virgo, full moon here, North Node in Taurus, Uranus in Taurus. I'm trying to find it. Here we go. So this is very much the energy represented in the clarifier is the fiery part of Earth, like the volcanic part of Earth, right? Where it's like action-oriented practicality is this clarifier. Mapping out plans for the phases of your life's adventure, developing systems to keep your passion intact, developing patience, enjoying the ride you're on. I consistently create my empire. How are we consistently creating our empire? Are we, reminds me of like Evil Empire, Rage Against the Machine. Are you raging against the machine and smashing, grabbing the truth for yourself and finding it? Like Snowden, he was like, you know what? The NSA is doing this crazy shit. I got to tell you guys about this. Are we standing up and creating the world we want to be in? Because that's the point of choice we're at right now. You either are going to be essentially a cog in the machine, getting fucked by higher ups, which there's always hierarchy, so don't think that's, avoiding that altogether is the issue. It's more like, are you being lied to and screwed at the same time and told, you're not? And are we going to stand up against the oppressor and try to break out of the prison of illusion, basically, the prison of Orwellianism? We all know we're there. We've been in 1984 for a hot minute. Ever since Snowden came on and was like, this is actually what's going on. That was like 2013, 2016, around there. I think maybe around 2013, 14. We know that the song is not, the song is not what we think it is. It's a weird remix with subliminal musical undertones, and it's almost like in Zoolander, where it's like, kill the prime minister, right? We're being told all sorts of weird shit, and we got to stand up and do what we believe is correct from the heart, not from just our heads, ultimately so we can heal the world and make it a better place for all of us, Michael Jackson style. But that takes courage, that takes cunning, right? The swords, that takes not deceiving oneself or others. So that's really the name of the game. Integrity. Moon in Virgo. North Node in Taurus. Integrity. So the card is Dog. Companionship. And with Saturn in Aquarius, with Venus and Mars conjunct in Aquarius, you've got a friend in me. We're not doing this alone, right? As is evident last night's conversation, like I said, I'll post it in the podcast, Team Rabbit Hole episode number 271 with Colin Smith. We can do this grab for truth. Ironically, this is a cube. Like it's not a cube exactly, it's a square, but we get into cubes and Saturn's cubes and stuff like that. The powers that be want to keep us in an elusive state. And maybe that's okay for a time, but we need to stand up for our rights. Stand up for your rights, and you got friends to help you do this with. You're not alone. Find the others, hashtag find the fucking others, right? So this is number 41. Hopefully you're all doing well out there. I know the energy, my dreams have been crazy. Last night was an insane dream with Anthony Bourdain and this like Woodstock of heroin users where I smoked weed and felt really bad about it, and just all sorts of crazy weird shit. So I'm sure your dreams are kind of bizarre too. Melatonin makes dreams weird too, and I take that every night, but whatevs. So, dog, companionship, be a firm and ethical friend, right? Not a deceptive person, right? So this is calling us out on, like, how honest are we with ourselves in relationship and others. Seek loyalty and honesty in your friendships, right there. Our friendships should be supportive, not competitive, right? With Sun and Pisces, our dreams are really coming to fruition, conjunct Neptune, and we can make it manifest, Virgo moon, but we have to include others. It's okay to have a team. Like the X-Men are all very individually powerful, but when they come together, Mars conjunct Venus in Aquarius, Saturn in Aquarius, they get the job done. There's a difference between solitude and loneliness, and that's kind of the Hermit card the Virgo moon, full moon theme, it's like you can be alone and in your hermit cave, and actually very productive, or you can be like, oh my gosh, I'm not surrounded by people and doing things I need to do. I'm alone. I'm trapped in the ivory tower. Like, let's put it this way: in Neverending Story, the childlike empress is always alone, kind of, and she's not lonely. And then you have people like Sleeping Beauty or whatever, who's like, oh my gosh, somebody save me from my aloneness, or Rapunzel or whatever. There's a difference between solitude and loneliness. Something hidden will be illuminated. Something hidden, something deceived will become illuminated. It will shine forth. Whether it's through our or general principles and pressures, we're going to be set free from the bondages of delusion. It's always continually more and more. We all have aspects of ourselves that we do not appreciate or like. Learn to, and this is very Virgo moon, very nitpicky, right? Emotionally, it's like, oh, I don't like how I look in this dress, or I don't like, I need to shave and look childlike, or whatever the fad of shaving is all about. We all have aspects of ourselves that we do not appreciate or like. Learn to change these things if they do not benefit us, or lovingly accept them. You either change it, Pluto and Capricorn, or you learn to accept it and value it, North Node and Taurus. Mythos, the Greek goddess Hecate, or Hecate, some people say. Hecate was a goddess of the underworld and paradoxically a torchbearer who brought the light to this same darkness. Brought the light to the darkness, brought the illumination and awareness to the deception and hiddenness, hidden things, the night. Illuminating the darkest pathways, illuminating the darkest pathways, South Node of Scorpio, things are being brought out into the light to be dealt with. This magnetic goddess invited people to travel the shadows with her, but under her wise guidance. And there's a lot of shadows on the full moon. The full moon illuminates so much, it casts, it's almost like it's very powerful illumination at night. It's almost like, muted daylight. Hecate is often depicted standing at the crossroads with a three-headed dog representing past, present, and future. Hecate was referred to as Skylactikin, the lady of dogs, and as Philoskylax, dog-loving. And we got deep into etymological kind of resonances and are they morphogenetic kind of things going on over time. So like, why do the Peruvians and the Egyptians have similar architectural structures and mummification and things like that? So are they all kind of popping online at the same time? Or are they being informed certain ways? Language, where does it start from? It all kind of, we're told, these people came first, this, that, the other. Check it out. The podcast was highly interesting last night. So Philoskylax, dog loving. And I've actually got a little dog out of the 5, I got one on my porch last night. I just got waved to by the neighbor girl who helped take care of the dog poop last night. All right. It was said that you could hear the howls of the dogs of the goddess before she appeared to you, and all dogs that passed away went to her to be cared for. All dogs go to heaven with Hecate. Some say she was a lonely goddess passing through the underworld as she did, while others say that with her dogs for company, she could never be lonely. The goddess Artemis also had hunting dogs by her side everywhere she went. Cerberus was the great hound that guarded the gates of the underworld for his master, Hades, and dogs are one of the 12 signs of the Chinese zodiac. Animal. Human association with dogs is perhaps the most ancient story of companionship and interspecies friendship that exists. The oldest archaeological record of a dog being buried with a human is almost 15,000 years old. We've been friends with dogs for a hot minute. And that means we've co-evolved in many more ways than we might even perceive. In fact, the long relationship with dogs has shaped not just their character, but their genes, like I was saying. Current thinking is that all dogs started out as wolves. The friendly wolves, those willing to get close to human settlements for food, became increasingly more tolerant and friendly, and then evolved over thousands of years and domesticated into the dogs we know and love today. The wolves that were unfriendly and least tolerant of humans remained wolves. If you have ever seen the look a wild wolf gives you, a look of utter disregard, very Saturn and Aquarius, it's like, I don't need you, you'll understand there is no comparison between a wolf and a loyal and doting dog that you have in your home. Dogs assist us in so many ways. They are part of the family as a friendly companion, but we also use them for protection in the military, as assistants and service dogs, and to guide our way if we are blind. Because of their incredible sense of smell, dogs have been used to assist in hunting, to find lost people, and to detect drugs. There are dogs that can smell the chemical changes in the blood of people who are diabetic, dogs that warn their owners of epileptic seizures that are coming on, and dogs that can smell cancer in urine. There is very little that dogs do not help us with, and we owe them our respect and our loving companionship. North Node and Taurus, they are valuable to us. And not just because we can pet them and they do what we want and, you know, sit and do all this shit. It's like they actually have value beyond our entertainment utility. The magic, which is why we all are watching this and tapping in anyway. The magic. Dog magic is loving and warm and protective, right? What are we protecting? The truth. Hopefully we're shattering the delusions. Knight of Pentacles, we're protecting the values that we hold in our hearts, Anahata Chakra, right? Virgo Moon is saying, be a good steward. You've been given life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness in America. Are you just going to give it away to corporations and Rupert Murdochs and all these people? Dog magic is loving and warm and protective. If you're feeling lonely or you wish to attract good, loyal friends, you can call upon dog energy to help. If you have been betrayed by someone, right? If someone's been deceptive to you and kept you in the dark, if you've been betrayed by someone or you feel mistrusted, maybe you feel like people are all looking at you and saying, you screwed up before, maybe you'll do it again. It's like you have to kind of stand up for your rights, Knight of Pentacles, clarifier, and make people know that you're their friend. It says, call upon this energy to heal you. The symbols are three-headed dog, Cerberus, black dog, good Led Zeppelin song, dog running alongside a person, which happens to me whenever I go into these gates to feed the dogs here, 5 dogs. Status is of least concern. Clearly there's quite a bit of dogs all about, and that's both a good thing, can be annoying. These dogs bark all the day long because they're on guard for prowlers. They're kind of like a security system here. Even though there's security cameras on property, they're kind of an auditory way of maintaining the boundaries here in Costa Rica for this household. So let us get an I Ching card, a hexagram I should say. Hopefully you all are doing well and enjoying yourselves. I wonder, my fiance reminded me to put out a bottle of water and glass or something clear under the full moonlight and charge your crystals. I didn't bring any crystals, I don't think. See, there's the dogs, our companion, being a security guard, right? Oh my gosh, I think someone's trying to break in, so they're standing up and fighting for our freedom, they think. Well, I wonder what goes on the mind of a dog. They're like, I'm doing this for the master. I will protect you. I love you. We've got number 7, which makes me think of 7 Nation Army. Look at all these dudes. And there's a whole lot of saber rattling going on in the world right now. So, number 7, what can we get from this? I almost put it away. You can tell that I'm a little scattered when the dogs start going. All the noises are happening now. There goes the plantain collectors. I had my first fried plantain yesterday. It's like potato of the trees, a very starchy thing. It's all right. I wouldn't want to live on it, but yeah. Collective force. This is some Saturn in Aquarius, right? This is some Mars conjunct Venus in Aquarius. The collective what? Force. Making it move forward. The struggle against an external opponent or a part of yourself always involves an element of risk, right? When you're trying to be a truth bringer, there's forces that are watching to make sure you don't say the wrong thing. I just saw a video of people in Russia. This one lady she held up 2 words, I think it's called, if you YouTube 2 words. This lady held up 2 words. I don't even know what the 2 words are, like Russia's wrong or heal the world or no war or who knows what it said. KGB or whatever, the Russian military walks up, takes her away, and then literally a lady's like, hey, I'm pro-Russia. Do you guys record both sides? And she starts talking about her pro-Russia side, and the guys come right over and take her away. It's like, holy shit. Sometimes, that's Saturn in Aquarius, where it's like, you cross the line and Big Brother will get you. I mean, it's the shadow of that. So the struggle against an external opponent, and it's all us anyway, if we can get to that place of our hearts and know that, you know, Darth Vader is my friend, Obi-Wan's thinking, and he's like, if only you knew the game we're playing, Darth, you'll laugh about this one day, Schwang. The struggle against an external opponent, perceived or real, or a part of yourself, oh my gosh, I hate how I'm lazy, oh my gosh, I hate how I'm doing this, that, the other. The parts we struggle against are always involve an element of risk. If you want to win, then you have to deploy all your strength as any good commander would do. Victory requires iron discipline, right? Very North Node and Taurus, Virgo Moon, iron discipline, good perspective, and strategic skill. The Moon is trining the North Node right now, I mean, it is opposite all this Pisces energy, so it's kind of like, oh my gosh, what's true, what's not, how can I be healthy in a world that's falling apart with radiation and whatever. I mean, it's not that radioactive, but you see my point. But it is trining the North Node, so it's like it's time to clean up shop, spring clean, very much the energy right now on a lot of levels, in order to walk into our destiny more fully and create more value ultimately. Perseverance and a sense of justice are prerequisites for maintaining control of the situation. Keep in mind the power of human feelings and needs, right? Don't just dismiss human emotion and needs, right? We can't just say, okay, we're going on the mission and we got to get this artifact no matter what. And someone's like, I sprained my ankle. It's like, fuck you, fend for yourself. We can't do that. We have to be our friend. No man left behind, no woman left behind, no child left behind, no animal left behind. Hopefully that's how we start looking at the collective, where we're all in this together. Heart chakra. Keep in mind the power of human feelings and needs, right? Jupiter in Pisces, Sun conjunct Neptune in Pisces. We have emotional needs. How wet and watery they might be, and weird is another point, but like they exist. Don't deny that. Remain courageous and understanding, and through this, foster a sense of unity among your allies. Saturn in Aquarius, the positive part of it. It's like, we're all in this together. Let's go against the hordes of Mordor. First of all, you should scrupulously and impartially ascertain whether the struggle is just and absolutely necessary. Venus and Mars conjunct in Aquarius. You're looking at it from an objective air point of view, right? Seven of Swords, it's a mental card, right? And this guy is holding a sword. We got to use our minds, right? We got to know what's true and what's not. We got to destroy the lies. We got to fight for the truth. We can't just accept that everybody has our best interest at heart, because they don't. The media and politicians are not really your companions. Perhaps the same outcome could be achieved with patience and frankness. Very Virgo moon. It's like, hey, one step at a time, and let's just make this, cross the T's, dot the I's, double check it all. That's patient and steward-like and truthful, honest. Integrous really is the word for Virgo. So let's get a stone clarifier and let you and myself be on our ways. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. I always have fun doing this shit. That's why I do it. Black Tourmaline. You can quantumly entangle with this. You don't have to own it. But basically, yeah, this is something that we can identify with archetypally as well as materially. Black Tourmaline, what it is, grounding. Black Tourmaline is a slightly magnetized and semi-precious gemstone with a reputation for protecting a delicate psyche from a case of the crazies, full moon energy, right, where we go kind of crazy, lunacy. All this Neptune conjunct Sun in Pisces, Jupiter in Pisces, it's like, what is going on? This dream is getting weird. So it protects you from the case of the crazies and establishes a powerful energetic boundary between you and all the zombies out there, right? The horde. Hopefully you find your friends and you fight all the orcs, and one day, you just talk to the orcs and you go, you know what? The Eye of Sauron isn't your friend. Come, open yourself up. Who needs it? Everyone. The royal we. Where to put it? Beside your door to keep emotional vampires out, on your persons, in your pocket, everywhere. When to use it? Anytime you take public transportation, finding yourself in a crowd, or hear that sucking sound of a coworker / family member / malignant demon taking more from you than they are giving back, right? When things are stealing your joy. Like, imagine this is you and you're just living your life, and this is your heart, right? Your heart chakra. And you're on a Hatha chakra day. And you're just kind of doing your thing, and a demon comes in and tries to steal your peace, steal your joy. How can you best be your friend? How can you be a companion? How can you basically stand up with your multiple selves, inside out style, Pixar's inside out style, and defend that which is your kingdom? Clarifier of the Knight of Pentacles. How do you defend your heart? With Black Tourmaline. This says protect your light. So if you consider yourself a light worker, if you consider yourself a good guy and you don't want to be on the bad guys team, if you don't want to, if you don't consider yourself a terrorist and all this kind of shit, and I know this is all vague media jargon, but if we're in a place where we want to be protected, tap into Black Tourmaline. You will protect yourself. He's knighted. The Knight of Pentacles, as the clarifier, is covered from head to toe in armor, and he's got a weapon and he knows how to use it. You're not alone. You're a part of a collective, whether it's internal and you have many parts of yourself, like, oh, the heart part of myself, oh, the mental part of myself, oh, the nostalgic part of myself. You're not alone. You have to get all these parts of yourself and in the external world, all your allies and enemies, and get beyond the delusions of the system and go for the heart. Smash and grab what? Truth from the heart. So hopefully that makes sense. I would love for you guys to holler for readings because I love giving them. People love getting them. 5 stars only. Check it out. Basically, hit me up for readings if you want. $33 for cards for an hour. $88 for an hour, 3 hours rather, of astrology. $111 for 4 or 5 hours of hanging out with me and getting deep into the mystery of your reality via cards and astrology. Like I said, 5 stars only, so that's always good. And the podcast is amazing. We're getting back on track with that. I'll show you guys a link for last night's episode. Check it out. Amazing, mind-blowing stuff. Team Rabbit Hole, gang, all the way. Saturn and Aquarius. We're doing the work as a team. And other than that, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy and prepare for the full moon. It's basically tonight at midnight. So tomorrow I'll be talking on the equal opposite side of the energy. Get in your hearts. With a full moon, you're trying to release the energy of Virgo, in this case, opposite the Sun and Neptune. So we're trying to release delusions, trying to surrender to love by really fighting for integrity, fighting for truth beyond what maybe power structures are telling you, right? Guarding your castle, guarding your heart, protecting your light. You don't want the vampires to come. You got to command the forces of evil and darkness that are ultimately part of you in some weird way, where your boundaries are. And that's kind of the way it goes. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I will catch y'all on the flip side. Have a beautiful Thursday. Adios.